Hi there, everybody, and welcome to another Love City Arts podcast. We're joined by another fan favorite, Tara Praolo Studios in the house. Listen, Tara and I talk all day, every day. We've been talking all day, every day, I would say the last 8 or 9 months, because it wasn't so heavy in the beginning. Hey, Em, welcome to the party. It wasn't that heavy at the beginning because we met each other on Clubhouse, as you know. I put everybody into a row. Those of you who are here all the time, you know, I lined everybody up. I said, who can teach me how to unlock my voice at 2 a.m. in the morning? Everybody gave it their whole shot. And Hermione herself said, this is what you need to do. She taught me what we now call the Tara Praolo method in the middle of the night, a piece of it. We then went into a private lesson where she gave me 1 hour of a lesson, and then y'all know that turned into 37.7 thousand people watching that particular live stream that day. What we're talking about is the capacity for artists to help other artists set themselves free. And that's what's going to anchor our conversation today. This idea that we can somehow gain a sensation of success in ourselves and one to another. Tara, as we begin, tell people about who you are, what's going on in your life today. You're here all the time, so people are used to seeing you on the Love City Arts Island property. What's new with you today?
I am here all the time. As Andre mentioned, I am currently getting ready to launch a portion of Tara Praolo method. If you would like to, I know some people are on Clubhouse right now, so if you'd like to, there's a TPM singing club where every once in a while I pop in and I do some of what TPM is, but there will be things launching soon, so I'm prepping for that. As far as who I am your resident white-facing, biracial, multi-passionate musician, and that pretty much just describes everything that I do. I'm a voice coach, brand coach, multi-passionate musician, and I'm also a performer. So I do a lot of things. I was going to say too many, but it's not too many. It's just enough. So that's what's coming up. I'm busy doing I am learning a lot of new music right now, which I haven't done for quite a while in this amount of music. So that's what I'm doing currently.
I love it. Okay, so dearly beloveds, we're gathered here today to talk about the subject of the sensation of success. Okay, so the backstory on this is that Tara and I, probably a couple weeks ago now, were in one of her rooms over in TPM singing, and she started, as she was giving a warm-up exercise, talking about the sensation of the voice, which is something that she uses in TPM and something that I use as a professional singer and teacher and coach to help people kind of, unlock their voices. Now, what I didn't realize when she said, find the sensation of the voice, find the sensation of the breath, what I didn't expect to happen next was that as we were finding that breath, and as we were finding that sensation, and all of singing is sensation, by the way, in my humble opinion, a big, big, big sensation. But as I was finding that sensation, I also realized that not only is there sensation in our bodies as singers and speakers and performers and executors of our craft and our gifts, not only is there a sensation that's physically felt in what we do as performers, but there's also something internal that's happening as well, something that I call the sensation of success. It is this energy that I can't quite, Tara, put my finger on its totality, and I think there's a reason for that too. But it's something that you have to want it. You have to want to have the sensation of success, and then once you get it, you just know you have it. And you can tell in the people that you meet and you encounter in your daily life, which people, the reason why we are crazy with and to each other, Tara and I. We are like terrorizing soul siblings all day long because there's a typo there. What'd you think about this? Like, well, why'd you say that? What about this? What did you mean when you said it? Like, we go back and forth all day. But the thing that keeps us, I think, and I'm gonna give it over to you. I think the thing that keeps us coming back to each other is that I recognize within you that sensation of success. It's in your eyeballs, it's in your nostrils, it's in your ears, it's in what you say, it's in your execution. Like, you have the sensation of success. And if there's anybody in the room wondering what the fuck I'm talking about, you may not have it. Or you may have touched it and then got scared of it, which we could talk about a little later. But people that have that sense, Hero has it. Hero is on the other side of the globe listening to us on Clubhouse in Australia. And I feel the sensation of the success off of them. I don't know your pronouns, Hero, so I'm just going to say them. But I feel that sensation. What's coming up for you as I'm just
Yeah. So first, I think something that everybody can maybe relate to. I think a lot of people can relate to this. If you're a singer in the room, I think this will make sense to you. You know that moment when you're singing something, even if you're just like humming along and you're like, dang, that was a good note, right? And you feel it, like, you know, in that moment that that note landed, right? Or you're giving a speech, or, you know, talking to a friend and you're like, oh, landed, like, let's revisit it, you know. And that is the sensation, right? It's a certain vibration where you know that the energy that you're giving is reciprocated by the people that are in front of you, or the people talking to you, or the people in the room. Or if you're a singer and you have a piano, a real piano, and you sing at a specific vibration. This is why we talk about the way that the voice comes out of the body. The piano will vibrate and play that note back to you. And so that's a really audible demonstration of a sensation being correct, right? Is a vibration literally moving the air, string, which then vibrates and plays back to you, right? And so I think it's a certain vibration that certain people, I think everybody has access to it, but I think there's certain people in the world that walk in the sensation of success consistently. And I think you can embody that emotion or that sensation at all times. And I think that's part of, you know, the people that we look at when we talk about celebrities, and when we talk about even on Clubhouse. Like, Clubhouse is a great example of, you don't even see their faces, but yet there's certain people you're drawn to. There's certain people that you always go back to. Or when, for instance, when I go into an audience, even if I haven't seen someone, this happened to me literally last night. Even if I haven't seen someone in 6-7 months on that app, they know exactly who I am. And that's because I embody everything that I already talk about, right? And it's the sensation of being in those moments of not necessarily trying to make everything land, but knowing that it will land, right? And knowing that it will come, instead of constantly being like, well, it might not happen, so I'm not going to do it. Well, it might not happen, so I think I'll just play this easier song, right? And that grows with time. I mean, today I sat down in front of something that I hadn't looked at in 3 years, because when I initially looked at it, I said, your girl can't learn that. Like, your girl is not that good. Baby girl is not that good to do this. Because it's got a lot of fast moving notes, blah, 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 blah. And I just, back then, did not have the confidence to learn it. And I sat down today and I was like, no, I'm going to try it and see what happens, right? And that's the kind of can-do attitude that you have when you're in a successful space, when you're in your definition of what success is. And that definition is malleable, given what task you're doing, or what your, as you reevaluate your goals and your career and your personal life and all of those things. It's constantly changing, but you're just constantly in that state of not really questioning whether things can happen, and instead knowing that thing is going to happen if you just take the step for it to happen.
My gurus and teachers say that success, in their humble definition, is defined as anytime you're moving towards a worthwhile goal. And so that opens it up to be, anybody can be a success. Like you were talking about, all access to you have an all access pass to this sensation of success. It's available to everyone. And how do you know your success? You know that you're a success if you're moving towards a personal, worthwhile goal. Something that's increasing you, something that's making you better, and also increasing the community around you. Y'all know that I'm a former flight attendant. I talk about this all day, every day. You can put your own mask on first before you put on someone else's. And so if you make sure that you adorn yourself and just give yourself a good wash over of the sensation of success every day when your feet hit the floor, you'll have more to give because you'll be moving as a successful person towards your personal worthwhile goal. Tara and I, we're not interested in creating cookie cutter people, cookie cutter singers, cookie cutter web presenters, cookie cutter content makers,
cookie cutter brands. Child, get out of here.
I'm not interested in any of that. I do love a good process. And I do. Welcome to the room. Written by Murphy's here. Hi, Written by Murphy. Another Clubhouse wonderful person.
I'm waving like Clubhouse can hear me.
No, Written by Murphy's actually in this actual room here from Clubhouse.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. The world is getting really, really small. The lovers are finding each other. But yeah, as long as you're moving towards a worthwhile goal, like Written and Murphy is, like you are, like Hero is, I know for sure. These are people that I know. Hi, beloved. So good to see you on the live podcast, taping Boo Boo. One of my Clubhouse friends made manifest. I love it. So yeah, when you're working towards a worthwhile goal, you can call yourself successful. And maybe your worthwhile goal is to brush your teeth this morning. And if you're moving towards that worthwhile goal, like it's a worthy goal. You want to have your teeth when you're old. We're all connected, yes. You want to have your teeth when you get older. You want to be able to communicate with people without them like being offended by your halitosis. I mean, like we're talking about brass tacks here. And so if your worthwhile goal is to brush your teeth, then do that worthwhile goal and call yourself a success. People think that success has something to do with money in the bank account. People think that it has something to do with your accolades and your degrees. All those things are things that are increasing your knowledge so that you can stand even more confidently in your sensation of success, but it's not the requirement for your sensation of success. The only requirement, folks, and I start yelling and placing my voice differently when I get passionate about this shit. The only requirement for the sensation of success is want. W-A-N-T. The cost is very, very low. Like the entry bit, what do they call it, Tara? The barrier for entry or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Very, very low here. All you have to do is want to have the sensation. And you can have it because you're working towards a worthwhile goal. I want to pivot for one moment into the inverse of this. The moments when, because no one's trying to sell a Pollyanna pipe dream here in front of the whole world, because we all know that life is harsh and bitter sometimes. I want to talk about the shadow side of the sensation of success for a moment with you, Tara, because I recognize that living in the sensation of success and saying, like, I want to be a successful person. Because when you make that decision that you want to be a successful person, that you have a sensation of success, you're going to see bigger dreams. And you're going to find that either you're actually working towards them or you're not. Like, there's no in between. And that's where everyone under the sound of my voice, I'm not trying to make anyone feel like dog poop today. But you're either actively, Master Yoda taught us this. Master Yoda did. You're either actively moving towards making your dream come true, or you're not. There is no try. Do or do not. And so once you start feeling your sensation of success, which I've been recently really stepping into sexually, spiritually, mentally, professionally, I've been stepping into this whole, like, wow, I can be successful in all these areas of my life. There is a bit of a what do you call it when the pendulum kind of swings back on you? There's almost like you're like, oh, I'm in the sensation of success. Oh my God, I'm in the sensation of success, and now I have to act. And there's like like something within me that wants to immediately run and hide.
Yeah, it's like a rebound fear almost. It's like a boomerang, It's like you hit it and then you kind of try to get away from it, right? I call it the fear of success. I think in the coaching world, we talk about this a lot, where there's a ton of coaches out there, and this is not poo-pooing other coaches, but there's a lot of coaches that will say, oh, most people are afraid of failure. And I actually very much disagree with that. I don't think people are scared of failing. I think they're scared that if they succeed, the responsibility placed on their shoulders of that success is extreme. Because like you just said, once you reach a certain level, right? Once you brush your teeth and you celebrate that you brushed your teeth, the next step is the shower, right? And the shower, that's a big thing, right? That's getting into the stream of water. That's using the soap. There's a lot of steps to the shower. That's washing your hair, right? And to use, a goal example of, okay, singing on a specific stage, and you hit that stage, and then it's like, okay, so I sang at a community theater. The next thing must be a regional theater, right? And that feels scary to even audition for, right? Or, okay, I have a studio of 20 people or 5 people, whatever, and I kind of think I might want more, but that means more responsibility. And so I call it a fear of success that does sneak in, right? Other people will call it like imposter syndrome. A lot of people, again, talk about fear of failure, and I
mean, clearly there's no fear of failure because there's tons of people failing. No one's afraid of failing. Like in a lot of ways, in areas of my life, I'm failing right now. I'm clearly not afraid of failing, y'all. It's more of the responsibility, which, we talk in our community about. The responsibility is if you flip it, it's your ability to respond to the success that's calling your life.
Right.
And when you go ahead.
I was just going to say, we can use the Spider-Man quote here too. And this is something that comes up for me, every few months, with great power comes great responsibility. When you realize how much impact you have in certain positions, it can get heavy, right? And there have been plenty of times that I'm like, I'm going to just not, right? I don't want this power because of the responsibility of the power, right? And that's a hard thing to kind of square away, is like, oh, I never meant to trip into this power. I just had a post on this about hop smacking into things. And that's really a lot of my 20s was that, where I would be put in positions that I felt like I wasn't prepared for, but someone else had said, you can handle the power, right? You can handle this, so you're going to do it, and that's not a fear of failure. It wasn't a fear of, I can't do this. It was a fear of, what if I am successful at it and they want me to do more? What if I'm successful at it and I end up in another spot higher in the company? What if I, end up on a stage and then I have to try to get to a bigger stage? Or, it's a tough place to be in.
We have a comment on the screen over here on Instagram, written by Murphy. Says, I'm often afraid that when I try, I won't do justice to my vision. And I mean, listen, yeah, I mean, if you're trying to do the visions and dreams that scare you, it's logical to me, I think that we have to give ourselves space, written by Murphy, to allow our vision to be very, very flexible. It's like, hold your vision, but hold it lightly, because what you're holding may be smaller than what the universe actually wants to give you. And so to that, I would say, and I understand that, because I'm a perfectionist, and and Tara can tell you, I won't release content. I found casting notices from 5 years ago that I used 5 years ago and didn't use again until today. Because I was afraid that I wouldn't do justice to the vision that certainly wasn't good enough. And I'm like, and Tara every day is like, before you go and write that, go look into your Google Drive and see if you've written it 20 times before.
Correct. Yeah. And I would say, just keep in mind, like we were talking about earlier, success is malleable. And if your vision is the definition of success, right? If your success definition is the vision that you have in your mind, just know that that can change. Like, and it might seem like it's immovable in this moment, but when you achieve the first goal, that might change, right? And this is stuff I talk about. I have a goal getter cohort. It's a workbook, and we meet a couple times a year, which is exactly this. It's to write out your big vision and then break that apart down into the daily drive, the daily drive of what does it look like, and then allowing yourself to be like, that's not fitting anymore, right? This isn't fitting anymore. Or this is going really well and I want to take this direction a little more, right? And that's, I just recently did that, where to me performing is sort of a bonus, and Dre and I are kind of opposite in this aspect, but performing for me is something that I do. It's not something that I work for. It's not something that I'm like, God, if I'm never on another stage, I'm gonna just die. It's not like, that's not it for me. It's, for me, it's like, I'm good at it. If you want to hire me, you know? But now all of a sudden post pandemic, I am being hired without really doing anything, just because of the connections I've made. And so I did have to go back to my vision, right? The vision that I put together in December and January, of what I wanted my time commitments to look like split between, and just acknowledging it's okay that can change, right? It's okay that now I have an EP coming out next month. I'm doing a show next month. I'm doing a show in July. I'm auditioning. Like, there are things that just kind of slid in, and it's okay that my vision changed. And so I just think there's a lot of pressure to choose something and stay there. There's a lot of pressure on that. There's a lot of pressure to choose one thing and not be multi-passionate, right? There's a lot of people that scare you.
Sarah, we got to move away from this human doing shit into this human being thing, because a human that's being, that's why I call myself on these online spaces Andre in the flow, to remind myself every day and with everything I'm doing that I'm in a flow state, and I'm in a state of becoming all the time, and that I'm not a human doing. Don't try to tack me down to just being a singer or an actor, motivational speaker, whatever the fuck. Like, do not try to tack me down, because the moment you tack down your vision to the ground, written by Murphy, is the moment that you just lost all the fun of it. The fun is actually in the being. I didn't plan any of this conversation with Tara today. It's coming out of our flow state. Yeah, it's flow, baby, flow. Always flow. And it's easier said than done, y'all. You know, there's a lot of impediments to flowing, but we're not afraid of the vision, or we can lessen our fear of the vision if we're just flow. But I really want to anchor that down, without anchoring it down. Like, if we could really get into being human beings over human doings, because we've really gotten that completely flipped, and I think it causes us to suffer. I just want to simply be in the vibration and the energy and the sensation of success, and then, you know, as this conversation blossoms, it blossoms.
Right. And I totally agree. I think there's also something to, you know, the constant pressure of correctness. What does the correct vision look like for a certain person, right? And like you were talking about earlier, I think perfectionism is one of the biggest barriers to just being, right? And I think many creatives struggle with that. I really do. Like, if there's one thing creatives struggle with, if there's two things, it's fear of success and perfectionism. Like, most of us are perfectionists, recovering perfectionists, right?
Yeah.
And I think we put together in our heads, you know, not even just external pressure, but internal pressure, right? That is saying, well, if it doesn't look like this, it's not right. If it doesn't look like this, I'm not going in the correct direction. And that's right back to what you were just talking about, Dre, which is just being and accepting that change. The change is going to come, you know, and that's okay. And it's accepting that, right? And also knowing that you can always change it. You know, like, you have the power within yourself to change it.
You have the power. You definitely have the power. We've hit so many things. I want everyone that's trying to be free in their energy today to make peace with this thing called change. We really have to open ourselves to change. We have to bring ourselves into the present moment and just recognize that because we are evolving people, because we are evolving beings of light, we have to just really focus on what's in front of us. Written by Murphy says, writing can be hard, lonely work. It doesn't need to be lonely if you come to my co-working sessions that I do, my pop-up co-working sessions, because we just sit there on mute, and we just work, like sometimes we'll talk about Bridgerton, or we'll talk about how our days are going, then we'll go right back on mute, and then we'll email. I'll work on music, I'll record podcasts. So you want to be finding, Written by Murphy, a strong mastermind group, like we have, or a strong co-working group where you can just stop by on the Facebook room, knock on the door, come on in, Murphy, we're on mute, we say hi, and then you go back to watching. I'm watching Netflix or watching some documentary. Tara's preparing her music for her students for the day. So yeah, there's lots of opportunities to be not lonely in the art. That's what we want Love City Arts to be, Love City Island, and Tara Priolo, her studio is just this, I'm a grown-ass man that takes, classes from the same studio as, 8-year-old little girls. And it's wonderful. It's not lonely. You're making progress on your 5th book. Congratulations. And you're thinking about multimedia expression, stories, and music. Where are you based? Because I got tons of ideas that we can put under a non-disclosure agreement and go and make this bag. Where are you based? Written by Murphy. As I, in the middle of the podcast, go in for the ask. Let's talk about it in the DMs. But if you're interested in taking your books into multimedia expression and expansion and stories and music, you hit the right podcast taping today, because that's exactly what I'm trying to produce and where I'm trying to go. Anyway, but I can listen. Perfect. Let's put a meeting on the calendar this week. And the only reason why I'm doing that, y'all, in the middle of this live podcast is because what you're looking for is looking for you. What you're looking for is looking for you. We try to pretend like it's elusive and like it's getting away from us. Tara tells me all the time, you're in more control than you think. Use what's in your hands. Run the damn play.
Push the damn button.
And push the damn button. Yeah. She's big on this. Push the damn button. And so, yeah, I've got tons of things cooking. If you want to turn each of your books into a different musical or song cycle, let's go. We got time, we got resources, we got people. That's my New Yorker. All of those things are going to be happening on Love City Island. Written by Murphy, I have 290 plays to produce, because there are artists all over the world who are writing just like you're writing in a lonely space for now, because you can join co-working anytime you'd like. I'll get you the invites and stuff through Facebook. Train of thought. Track.
Pushing the button, going forward.
There's just no excuses anymore. I think that's one of the hardest things about the Sensation of Success business, is that all of the excuses that I had about, well, if only there were plays to produce, if only there were people looking. I'm sitting in my Google Drive on 290 plays from 290 playwrights from all over the world who've said, we write plays and no one wants to read them. If you can find people to read them so I can hear my play for the first time in my life, I would love that. These are the kind of opportunities that I feel, Tara, are in our hands to build community.
What you're looking for is looking for you. That's where you were trying to track.
Yeah, and that's there. That's there. These playwrights are looking for artists. We're going to find the artists. We're going to start the reading rooms. Written by Murphy is looking for a space to not be so hard and lonely in this work. They're, great. Written by Murphy says, wonderful. I've been looking for collaborators and companionship. Yes, we got tons of companionship over here. We got so much companionship. You want to put it on me?
And some of us do.
And some of us do. Absolutely.
Not all the time, just sometimes.
As we're landing the plane, I want to thank Hero, Tara, that's you, Dr. K, Lily, Marina, Keith B, and all the people who've been watching. We had a pretty consistent audience tonight, Tara, on all the platforms listening in about this sensation of success thing. We got to talk to Written by Murphy over on the Instagram Live. I want everyone this week, and this is something that's in my free masterclass that's available on my website. It's 48 minutes of me talking my shit and riffing about what I think it means to tangibly become a success in your life. One of the tools I use in that, and it's free, so I can just hand it to you now because the knowledge is just in the universe for us. Go to your nearest dollar store in your community and buy a very nice dry erase marker. And we talked this whole, time about the sensation of success and what it feels like. I'm giving you now a tool that will allow you to actually feel it intentionally. You go to the dollar store, you get $1 to $1.50 dry erase marker, and you write on every mirror in your house these 3 words: I am enough. Now, this is $1.50 trick that you can do for yourself. You can go and get the dry erase marker. Some of us in other geographies may have grease. Remember those grease pens? Oh my God, that's a theater moment. Grease pens for the mirrors.
Yes. You can also do this on Post-it notes. I used to write. I actually still have them on my wall when I roll over and wake up in the morning. There's Post-it notes. And they're very simple. One of them is, I am enough. Next one is, I am a good business owner. Next one is, I am good at singing. Right? Yeah. Like, I have these on my wall. So, like, affirmations seem really stupid. Honestly, they seem really stupid. But when you wake up and you see those things, or when you walk into your bathroom and you see, I am enough, it surrounds yourself with energy that you need to be successful, and you need to get out of the places that are lonely. I'm one of those people that I always really struggled with purposefully being lonely, right? Like, because the arts, the creative fields can feel very cutthroat. They can be full of competition, and they can be full of DIY mindset, right? That you have to do it yourself. And if you haven't done it yourself, then it's not good enough. True. And we can collaborate all on the same and different levels at one time if we just all believe that we are each individually and collectively enough as we are in the moment that we are coming in contact with each other. Right? That is what we all have to believe, that we are individually and collectively enough. We are enough. And that is one thing that Dre and I both have in common, is that we will preach that until the sun goes down. Like, till the sun doesn't rise tomorrow, we're going to preach it, and I would say over on, what was I going to say? You were giving an exercise, your masterclass. I have a freebie on the Goal Getter. I mentioned it earlier. I have a little freebie. You just go to my link in bio, tarapriolo.com, and it'll give you a workbook as well to work through. So,
yeah, we found our landing point, Tara Priolo Studio. If you believe that you are enough, and you effort to put yourself in the direct trajectory, if you will, of that idea that you are enough, you will begin to cultivate and feel the sensation of success in your life moment by moment. I'm not going to give you the other tip that I give in the masterclass. I want you to go and watch it because I want your emails and I want you on my list. And so I'm not going to give you the other one. I almost slipped and said it. But they're little free and low cost life hacks, like Post-it notes and dry erase markers and things that you can do today in your life to start to see the sensation of success increase. It's something that I just said it just now, but I'm going to anchor it down. The sensation of success is something that must be actively cultivated and nurtured in your life every day. You cannot not do this. You have to constantly water and put sun on the sensation of success so that it increases in a very deliberate manner for you. And I think I am enough is that exact center point of the sensation. It is that as I've begun to actually truly believe in my heart that I am enough, the sensation just comes out of my pores. Because it's something that is believed and then felt and then acted upon. It's a beautiful thing.
Right.
Beautiful thing. All right, everybody.
Exactly.
Thank you so much for coming to the Love City Arts podcast. We had Tara Parolo Studio on here. She's my vocal coach and soul sibling and mentor and friend and all these wonderful things. A donor and sponsor of my programming, just like Hero over on the stage of Clubhouse. I'm so grateful that you are entrusting me, us, to hold your heart. Being an artist and being a creative and being a human on earth is some really, really hard shit. But if we have each other and we're trying to mutually support and benefit and increase each other, we're going to all see our dreams come true. And like Tara and I always say, see you at the top. Like, see you at the top. Hero, Dr. K, Lily, Myrna, Keith B, written by Murphy. There's greatness in you, and we'll be back soon. We have like literally 15 topics in the queue to talk about. This is just one of them.
Yeah. And so you Clubhouse people, this is, maybe you'll slice this off for the podcast, but Clubhouse people that are listening, make sure you're following Dre, make sure you're following me, because we will be bringing some sessions that are specific to Clubhouse. So those will start soon. I'm not going to give a date, but Dre and I will talk about it over.
We don't need a date. We're gonna pop up. Like you got to be like it's like
you got to be in the midst.
Listen, baby. The only way to smell me is to get close up to me.
Close to me. Don't lift your chin.
I love you, boo. Oh my gosh, love you. Oh my gosh, let's pin that one. Love you so much. Yeah, everybody that's been hanging out. That's how easy it is. So, and I want to just anchor this down before Tara, because I want to be mindful of your time. 3 minutes more, and then we can be off to the races. But I want to say to the room, thank you, number one, for being here. And then number two, what we've just done is not rocket science per se. Mm-mm. And what we've just done in front of the class is not magic. It's not hocus pocus. We're not fucking unicorns. I can't wait to get that t-shirt made. I'm not a fucking unicorn. Because even though I've got wonderful colors going on behind me on Instagram, Tara and I live our lives out loud as an example to show what is capable for you. Who, me? Yes, you. That you are within your complete power, beloveds, in this moment to start up your own. Instagram is free. You're able to start up your own Instagram with a treasured friend. Make sure it's someone you like or it get really, really fucking awkward. Start an Instagram. I'm giving you the game. You start up your Instagram with a friend that you like Tara Parolo Studio, who I adore. Even though she gets on my nerves and I get on her nerves, we adore each other. We're inseparable. Okay? So then, you film it, in front of a wonderful person.
There's a step before the filming. Push the damn button.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So push the damn button. So you got to go into Instagram. You push the damn button. It's called Go Live. You're going to go live. And once you push the button, she's right. Because that's a metaphor for life. And then once you push the damn button, you're going to come on. You're going to invite your friend on. You're going to talk about it. Talk, yada. You're going to do it in front of people on Clubhouse, do it another device or not. You're going to have Written by Murphy come by and just really contribute brilliantly to the community and to the love that was here. We could not have done the episode without you, Written by Murphy, because of your yes to this situation. So you record it. Yes is the motto, baby. Yes is the motto. Say yes to your life. So then you do that. Then you stop it. What I do is I temporarily post it for a moment. But what that does is that allows the algorithm, the new motto is push the damn button. Yes. It should be.
I need to make a shirt
You need a shirt for that.
That has to be on a shirt and a coffee cup.
So then you save it up. So then you put it up, and then Instagram has a way for you to pull it down. I'm speeding up the steps now because no one has time for my geeking. You pull it down, you pull the audio out, you put a little pad on top of it, and then I'm now getting into the weeds now because it is a significant 20 steps. But what I'm saying,
it is a significant 20 steps. But if you are at the level for only 3 steps, if your 3 steps are go live on Instagram, download Instagram, push the button, do the interview, post it. Okay, 4 steps. If those 4 steps, if that's all you can do, and that puts you in the sensation of success, that's all you need. There are people that have built more with less than that.
That's true. So thank you for stopping me. I was going to give y'all the whole podcast breakdown. If you want the whole podcast breakdown, hit me up in the DMs with the word podcast, and I'll give you all of the game for free tonight. Like, it ain't no thing. But Tara's right. When I started doing my whole Rain Man thing and start building lists of 35 things, because I can do the 35 things, I make it inaccessible to people who just simply want to spread their magic. It's 4 steps. Download
Oh, go ahead. Repeat the 4 steps.
I'm just download Instagram, push the damn button, go live, and post it.
Right. And if you need, I'm going to mark it Dre really quick because he hasn't said what needs to be said. If you do want the padding and the whole beautiful audio and get it all nice and put together, and you actually want a podcast on other apps where you need assistance hooking up apps because you're not technically that, you're just not technically ability. Okay. I get that. Then you can also pop into Dre's DMs, and he does have an offer to create podcasts. So check out his website, andreforhire.com.
Why brag on yourself when you have friends that do it for ya? Marla. Thank you so much, Tara. I appreciate you for the shout out. Because the brother does need business, and it is the thing that needs to be said. So I appreciate you so much. Thanks everybody for hanging out. Written by Murphy. Hit me with the DM so that I can get you tapped into our Facebook community. They're private groups, but as long as you're on the right list and in the right Facebook groups, you'll see when I say, like, going live for the next 2 hours in chill and chat, or going live for the next 2 hours to just write. And then we just show up as we can as a community from all over the world. All over the country right now. We used to have all over the world. But that's a different story for a different day. Ooh, we don't have the time. Thanks, everybody.